journey?
First of all, I am an autism mom. So I have a 20-year-old son with autism, which is how I got in the field. I was in the computer technology field, completely switched gears. He was 2 when he was diagnosed with autism, started ABA fairly quickly, and we saw great progress and benefits with it. So I went back to school, became recertified, and became a BCBA. So this all started with my son. That's how I got into this. And then I was doing in-home ABA therapy for a while. And I keep joking that I was supposed to be a stay-at-home mom, and this was supposed to be a little side gig. And I was supposed to just have 2 or 3 families that I'm working with in home. And it just very slowly and organically grew. We opened up our center 2 summers ago, and then we doubled the space last summer, and we're continuing to grow. So we have a staff of about 35 people now, 5 BCBAs, about 20 RBTs. So we're not small anymore. So that's our company. That's kind of the history of our company.
We work with kids that have intensive needs, kids with autism, and we do mostly full-time services with children who have high language needs or high behaviors. And we've been open for over 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we're up to 40 employees.
We are a small company. The name is Intentional Actions ABA, and the name kind of puts it out there. I really wanted to be very intentional about everything that we did. We have 2 BCBAs, myself and another BCBA, 1 full-time RBT, 2 very part-time, and an office admin that I have learned to love dearly. We're running at about 12 clients right now. We're in a small town. Well, it's not that small, but we're just outside of Houston, where our community has to drive about 45 minutes into the Houston area to start getting resources. So we're almost at a year of seeing clients. We started last January, and we have about 12 clients and a waiting list of about 75.
Wow.
People. Yeah, we don't have a building right now, so we are seeing clients in our local early childhood intervention through the county, which has been a really great collaboration for us. But we're looking to expand a little more. This not having a lot of space has helped me with the growing slow and steady part. Yeah. And then the only other thing I think that is kind of cool and significant about our clinic is that we have 100% parent participation model, where we say, you know what, really, we want parents to learn how to do this just as if you were a therapist in our clinic. And we have found these people who are really willing to come and do that and spend the time, the hard work, and we've really seen some really cool results from it. So there's, tweaks along the way and adjustments, but we've really found it to be pretty cool.
Wow, that's really exciting. First of all, congratulations for getting through the first year.
Yeah.
So close, y'all.
Yeah, and then also it reminds me a lot of us with about 45 minutes out of the city, right? Because we were out in DC, and at that time we started, people had to go into had to commute to get the services. So it's really great that you're providing services in that area that sometimes gets overlooked, right?
Yep. Outside of the Beltway.
Yep, exactly. What services or products have you purchased from 3 Pi Squared?
I think all of them. You guys can tell me if I have gotten them all or not, but I started with the podcast, listened to you guys' podcast when I was kind of just starting to think about starting a clinic in my own business. They're great. They're easy to listen to while I was doing laundry or gardening. And I'd stop and then pull out my notes part of my phone and add something in and then go back to what I was doing. And so the podcast really helped me to get to know you guys as a business a little bit, which immediately built trust and felt like I was kind of similar, wanted to treat my employees and clients in a similar way, which led me to, I think I then did the ABA Business Leadership membership, where I did the CEU package. This is really a great combo for me because I was coming up to needing to research. So I needed my CEU hours, and how great to use that resources, the money to get CEUs, but to get it in something that I was dreaming about and thinking about, and getting the information that I needed to really start foundationally building a business from. From there, I think I started consulting after that. I needed the phone a friend option. And so I started that. And then through that, moved to also getting the handbooks, which still are a much treasured resource. And I'm so glad I didn't have to write them or hire someone to write them. So they're a great foundational piece too that really, really helped us get started. So I think that's all of them. It's pretty close, except for maybe a few new things you guys have thrown in there.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's funny. The handbooks is what really started this whole company, because Steven, as we put in the work and, to make those, he's like, okay, other people must need these, and so that was really like the starting point of this whole thing. So I'm glad that you found them very helpful.
Oh, that process was so intimidating. All of it was so intimidating. Yeah, you guys, just the services that you provide have really helped whittle away at that process in a less intimidating way.
So we did the values-based leadership with April, and it was just an absolutely phenomenal course. And as it happens, I was the only one that signed up for it. And to show April's integrity, she could have just said, "Oh, you were the only one that signed up, and we're just going to cancel it. Sorry, we'll try again later." But no, she did one-on-one coaching with me through the entire course sequence. And it was just a fantastic course, and I would recommend it to any ABA business leader, or even doesn't have to be ABA, any human services field business leader would benefit from it.
We use all of their manuals, my employee manual, my company manual, our client handbook. We still use all of those products. Just a really neat little sidebar story. I think that the makers of the employee handbook will enjoy is we have an HR company that we work with, and every year they go through our employee handbook to make sure that we're in compliance and we're doing things the way that we should be doing. So last year was the first year that they reviewed the handbook that we purchased from 3 Pi Squared, and the woman in the HR department said it was one of the best written handbooks that she's ever read, and she's read hundreds and hundreds of them. And she said it was one of the very best that she's ever read. There was only one small revision that she had us add, and it was a new law that had come into effect regarding technology. So it wasn't even anything that, was wrong with the original. It was just something new that we needed to add to make it current. So I just wanted to pass that feedback along as well. She felt it was very well written. We feel very confident in it as a company. I think it's really helped us to maybe avoid some situations where as a business you don't want to get into it, whether it be employee conflicts or client conflicts, things like that. I think everything's so clearly written and comprehensive and well thought out. And so I think it's helped in that way as well. It's helped us avoid some of those situations you don't want to get into as a business owner.
Tell us how you found 3 Pi Squared.
Actually, I think it was on Facebook. So I know Steven is very active on providing comments and providing feedback on different questions and answering questions. And I'd seen his name a lot. My husband actually, he's got his own full-time job, but he also does all of the finances for our company. So I was talking to him about, we wanted to do a renegotiating of rates. And I had brought up Steven, and I had shown him also all the different kind of feedback and comments. I'm like, I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. It looks like he knows what he's doing. He's done this in the past. It might be good to reach out to him. So yeah, Facebook really, it was the social media and all of kind of his, he had really good, thoughtful answers to things. So I thought, he would be a good resource for us.
Wonderful. Thank you.
I found 3 Pi Square through social media. I feel like I want to say social media because it was really Facebook, and I think that's the old people's space now. But it was in a forum. I saw a link to the podcast, and so I pulled up a podcast, and it was about creating culture in your environment, and I was hooked from there on.
Would you refer 3 Pi Squared to others?
Absolutely, yes. Stephen and 3 Pi Squared was very beneficial for us. So they've helped us out. We did see results. We did get a 20% increase in rates. I know, we were very excited about that. And it happened fairly quickly. Great. I think we were all surprised at how fast it happened. So, some places you have success and others we didn't, and that's okay too, because we know that's how it goes. But I think Stephen was able to guide us in an area that we weren't very familiar with and how to do things. And I think he provided a lot of good feedback on what to submit, how to submit it, what message to put in there. Otherwise, we'd be kind of, doing this in the dark. So the guidance was very helpful. So yes, I would recommend him.
Wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. I have referred you guys to others. I've also talked to other people who have used you guys or different resources, and we all have the same opinion. Thank God they exist. Thank God that they're there, because we really it's a resource that we all need.
Absolutely. In fact, I do refer 3 Pi Squared to others. I often, at this point in the game, I often do a lot of consulting for people who want to start their own ABA company. So as a result of that, they're naturally looking for resources. And one of the resources that I do refer people to are the resources that 3 Pi Squared offers.
What is the best thing about 3 Pi Squared?
I think it is very personalized. I think, you guys are, you're established and big, but you're small enough that is still, you still receive personalized service and attention. Stephen is very responsive. If we need to set up meetings, it's easy to do that. So, it's easy to get questions answered. So I would just say the personalized service and the responsiveness is really great.
April was absolutely knowledgeable and passionate. The course material was fantastic. It was just an all-around great experience, and it has helped the company so much. We were in a kind of a downswing. We had some employees that did not share our values, and it was affecting the company overall. It was affecting the quality of services. It was affecting the number of kids that we could help. And through the values-based leadership training, we were able to identify our values and better incorporate them throughout the hiring process. And now we have people who are more passionate about our services, more committed, and we're helping more kids.
I think one of the best things is the products that they offer are really kind of a one-stop shop for a lot of things that you need as a new business owner, and not even as a new business owner, but somebody that's been in the space for a while. I know that I bought their client handbook, I purchased their company handbook, I purchased the employee handbook, and for me as a business owner, it saves me so much time in having to write that myself or find somebody that has the knowledge to write that, and as a result it just saves me money. What I also like about when you purchase those types of items from 3 Pi Squared is they send you the updates at least twice a year for many of those products free. It's factored into the original purchase price. So talk about getting a lot for your money. You pay the purchase price up front, but then you get these updates at least twice a year for free as long as you use that product. So for me, that's definitely well worth it.
How did 3 Pi Squared help you?
Well, we used them for rate negotiations, and we did not know where to start or how to do it. And I think through Facebook, I did join one of your live webinars on the price negotiating. So that was very helpful. I actually had my husband watch it too. So Stephen guided us through the process of rate negotiations, and we were able to negotiate higher rates with at least one insurance company, and we're working on at least one or two more. But at least we have kind of a path that we know what we need to do. So, I mean, he literally benefited us financially because we're getting higher rates with insurance that we needed. So it was great.
Oh, they've helped me in many, many ways. Just like I said before, they helped us write a lot of our manuals. Most recently, we just finished our client handbook. That was something that we have wanted to do for many, many years, but it's something that just keeps getting shoved on the back burner. And that's one of the latest ways that 3 Pi Squared has helped us is we purchased that. I'm going to say that's been about 1 to 2 years ago. And we just got done kind of modifying that and revising that for our own company. So that's been the most recent way that they've helped us. We also participate a lot in their webinars, listen to their podcasts. So they've added a lot of really neat services and products that we continue to utilize and continue to purchase.
How can 3 Pi Square improve?
You know what? Here's where I'm at. I'm in the process of doing a program management software onboarding, and we are meeting with someone. I call it a torture session. Once a week, we do a torture session where they are teaching us another component of this program, and we're entering our information into it. And I think the consulting option you guys have could work this way. But I just thought, you know what, when I finally went for the consulting, I felt like someone who was learning how to swim, and I was struggling and I was grabbing onto anything, and someone to say, yeah, we can help you through this, but let's meet like once a week, and they share your screen and say, okay, go to this insurance company, go find this tab. Okay, now pull up your Excel sheet that we put in all of you and your employees' information that you already needed, kind of that next step of holding your hand while you're doing the process. Yeah. That was a scary, looking back, it was kind of a silly spot to be really scared about the credentialing, but that it's the unknown, right?
Yeah.
It is. I mean, and that's what we were just meeting with like a accountant about tax forms, right? And we sat down in their office and like she walked us through every step and then afterwards we felt kind of silly. We're like, I don't know why it was so hard for us to fill out this form, but it just sometimes you just need someone to hold your hand.
If I'm being honest, I didn't feel silly. Just tell me what to do and I'll do it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want the concept behind it. I don't want the history. I don't want any. You want me to put my name here? Oh, okay. And then be done, right?
I know that when I think I did my first consulting with you, that was definitely where I was at. Just tell me what to do. But I also wanted to learn how to do it myself.
Right.
And that was a component I'd not found with anyone else that I reached out to in that kind of struggle state where I was seriously looking at hiring people to just do the credentialing for me. And you said, no, don't do that. You have to gather all the information anyway, and you can do it yourself. And the idea that you wanted to teach me how to do it instead of continually take my money and my resources and do it for me and kind of trap me in that cycle where I had to rely on someone else to do it was really encouraging and appealing to me and helpful. I did it. I did it all.
Improve? That's a tough one. I don't have a good answer for that.
I don't know that I have any areas that they could improve in. I think just continuing to offer more of what they're offering. You can see this steady, at least I can see a steady, I think, as they continue to grow, they add more and more helpful products. So, it started out with maybe one thing, like maybe the essentials list, that manual, and then it ended up being all these other manuals that you can purchase. Now they're doing webinars, then they have the podcast. So I think they're just continuing to add a lot of valuable resources in the space. I don't really have any suggestions right now, but I definitely think they're moving in the right direction with the things that they are consistently adding to their collective material.
What would you tell someone that's considering 3 Pi Squared?
I would tell them to definitely use you guys. At least set up the initial meeting and get to meet Stephen. I think the other thing was we noticed the way you both worked with your practice was similar to our philosophy and approach. So I think it was easy to work with you all. But yeah, I would say set up the initial meeting and just see what Stephen could do to help you out. And he's just got some good insight. You've been through this and you're further down the road than we are. So from your own lessons learned, you're helping us, prevent some of those things, ahead of time. So it's worth the initial meeting or phone call.
I would tell someone that's considering 3 Pi Squared to not hesitate. Just whatever course they're interested in, it will be well worth their time.
This is an investment that you will not regret. The resources and the consulting available are worth your time and money and your peace of mind. And you'll get that peace of mind much more efficiently than if you try to do it on your own.
I would tell them that they would have no regrets, that is money well spent, that the value added by the content and the products that they produce is top notch. So I would definitely encourage them to do that.
How has 3 Pi Squared products or services made a positive impact on your business?
I'd say kind of the same thing that, we used 3 Pi Squared specifically for rate negotiations and saw success. So, from our standpoint, it benefited us with getting higher rates, which, directly benefits us financially as a business. So I would say that's how 3 Pi Squared benefited us. So the rate negotiation, the guidance of that was very beneficial.
It has made an incredible impact on our business in the quality of people that we hire. We've used the mission statement that we came up with to identify better interview questions from RBTs to BCBAs. After a BCBA interview, we'll send a normal follow-up email that'll say, it was nice meeting with you. We think you'd be a great fit. And we also say, please review our mission statement to make sure that our values matches yours, and you'll be receiving an offer letter. And we've been able to hire several BCBAs this way. It was just a fantastic course, and we have incorporated it. And I was telling you during the course that we did that I went to it for the values-based leadership because I was looking for more leadership. The values part spoke to me. And the mission statement, I was like, that's not what I joined the course for. Mission statements didn't really mean a lot to me because I had worked for a lot of places that said one thing, but then the bottom line was something different. And being a BCBA frontline worker directly with kids, the words didn't seem to have a lot of meaning when it came down to it. So mission statements didn't really mean a lot to me. So it was kind of a take it or leave it thing. Like, if I get a mission statement, that'll be nice. We'll put it up on the website and it'll do what it does. And throughout the course, we identified values that were very meaningful for me. And that turned into a very meaningful mission statement that has just positively affected our entire organization and the services that we provide.
Well, I first of all want to say that we're open and we're seeing clients, so that would be a really big one. But the resources available and the trainings and the consulting have helped me create the foundational pieces that I really wanted. I wanted to have processes and procedures in place, and I wanted to know how to be a good leader, which is always a process, right? I'm still learning on all of these, but going slow and steady and having processes and procedures for the staff to follow, and then from you guys' experience, learning what you found to be good leadership skills to create good culture have been incredible resources for me as a leader. We have our foundational pieces in place, and my employees are the best reinforcers for me because they are constantly telling me how much they love to work at Intentional Actions ABA, how much they love to work with me, how they don't ever want to go work anywhere else. They feel heard, respected, they love their jobs, and then that in turn is just brought out in their sessions with the clients and their rapport and relationships with the parents. Our biggest parent response or compliment is that we have caring and compassionate staff. And I think when they feel taken care of, they're able to take care of the clients better.
Well, like I said before, we use all of their manuals. my employee manual, my company manual, our client handbook, we still use all of those products. Just a really neat little sidebar story. I think that the makers of the employee handbook will enjoy is we have an HR company that we work with, and every year they go through our employee handbook to make sure that we're in compliance and we're doing things the way that we should be doing. So last year was the first year that they reviewed the handbook that we purchased from 3 Pied Squared, and the woman in the HR department said it was one of the best written handbooks that she's ever read, and she's read hundreds and hundreds of them. And she said it was one of the very best that she's ever read. There was only one small revision that she had us add, and it was a new law that had come into effect regarding technology. So it wasn't even anything that, was wrong with the original. It was just something new that we needed to add to make it current. So I just wanted to pass that feedback along as well. She felt it was very well written. We feel very confident in it as a company. I think it's really helped us to maybe avoid some situations where as a business you don't want to get into it, whether it be employee conflicts or client conflicts, things like that. I think everything's so clearly written and comprehensive and well thought out. And so I think it's helped in that way as well. It's helped us avoid some of those situations you don't want to get into as a business owner.